Back home in Nigeria, crime was a whisper that faded with time. But in America, Mr. Charles Ushenna Nwadavid learned that some whispers echo all the way to a courtroom. For the sake of this video, let's call him Mr. Charles. At this point, I will ask that you pull a cushion, because we are about to dive into the crime world of an alleged Nigerian criminal businessman who allegedly built his business empire using proceeds from crime. But somehow, this is about to crash on him. Mr. Charles is a real estate mogul. He's the founder and CEO of Chavid Properties Limited, a real estate company based in Abuja, Nigeria. Now, back in Abuja, the capital city of Nigeria, Mr. Charles was seen by many as a well-to-do businessman who made his fortune legally. He was that kind of person that many Nigerian youths look up to as a mentor. He made genuinely hard-working individuals look like they are not working hard enough. His wealth was spontaneous and grand, but behind the scenes, he had a dirty past. One that he thought he had gotten away with, a life that he wished would never catch up with him. From 2016 to September 2019, Mr. Charles was involved in a number of romance scams. Well, that is still an allegation, but let me proceed with the story as released by the FBI. Coincidentally, this period was also the same period he founded his real estate company, Chavid Properties Limited. If this story is already getting interesting, consider subscribing to my channel and also drop a comment in the comment box below. Okay, let us get back to the story. Now, this is how he committed these crimes. I will suggest that you listen with an open mind in order not to fall victim to romance scam yourself. Operating from Nigeria, he used a fake profile to target lonely and vulnerable women in the United States on dating websites. Posing as an interested lover, he would start an online relationship with them. Over time, as trust was built through regular conversations, he would invent financial emergencies, situations that would require his victims to send him money. Emergencies like unexpected hospitalization or needing money to secure a multi-million-dollar inheritance. Once the money was sent, he would cut the victims off forever, at least to him. One of his victims in Massachusetts didn't just fall for his romantic lies. She was also tricked into becoming what is commonly referred to as an azaman. An azaman is someone who allows scammers to use their bank accounts to receive money from victims abroad. So it was her US bank account that Mr. Charles used to receive money from his other victims, and he had remote access to the account all the way from Nigeria. Through that access, he was able to convert all the money he received, including the money from the account owner herself, into Bitcoin worth over 2.5 million USD. He moved the funds to his wallet on local Bitcoins, a now defunct Bitcoin trading platform, that allowed him to transfer the money to Nigeria or anywhere else in the world without any trace of how it was earned or where it came from. $2.5 million USD is currently worth over 4 billion naira. With that money, he built a beautiful life for himself. He launched a real estate company, got married, and began dishing out motivational and inspirational advice online. He traveled the world and posed as a successful businessman. In his mind, the victims had made peace with their loss and moved on with their lives. So he kept traveling and living lavishly, unaware that his victims were quietly working with US law enforcement, and that the FBI was building a case against him in Boston. Years after the scam, 6 of his victims, living in Massachusetts, Florida, New Jersey, and Kansas, were identified and convinced to cooperate with the FBI. They all testified before a grand jury, including the woman whose account had been used to collect the money. On January 23, 2024, a federal grand jury in Boston indicted Mr. Charles on charges of mail fraud and money laundering. Fast forward to April 2025. Mr. Charles was in the UK and decided to travel to the US, completely unaware that he had been indicted over a year earlier and that his movements were being monitored. Upon arrival at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport in Texas on April 7, 2025, he was arrested. The next day, April 8, 2025, he appeared in federal court in Fort Worth, Texas. He was detained and is to be transferred to Boston, where his trial will take place. As mentioned earlier, he's been indicted on 2 charges: mail fraud and money laundering. The mail fraud charge. This covers the scam itself, deceptively collecting money from victims online. If convicted, the charge carries a maximum sentence of up to 20 years in prison, 3 years of supervised release, a fine of up to $250,000 or twice the victim's loss, restitution and forfeiture. The money laundering charge. This refers to when he converted the fraudulently obtained money into cryptocurrency with the intention of concealing the source. It also carries a maximum sentence of 20 years, 3 years of supervised release, a fine of up to $500,000 or twice the value of the laundered funds, restitution and forfeiture. If convicted of both charges, Mr. Charles David could face up to 40 years in prison unless the sentences are served concurrently. However, it's important to note, 20 years per charge is the maximum, and he could receive a lesser sentence depending on how the case proceeds. All these remain allegations until he is proven guilty beyond a reasonable doubt in a court of law. As of the time of making this video, the date of his trial has not yet been set. Depending on how the trial goes, whether it is public or if court transcripts are released, I may give an update on the case in the future. So be sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out.